Number 9, number 9, number 9.
Well, I guess it's time for episode 9 of
The Rusty and Jan Show. We're especially delighted to have one of our regular open micers, Keith Shaw, as our featured musical guest.
Yes, he's been a part of the weekly open mic at Melalani.
Plus, we'll have a discussion on how to market yourself to venues and other opportunities for singer-songwriters like yourself. And we'll be able to tell you about all the times that I failed.
When are you going to do that, Rusty?
I will do that during Rusty's senior moment.
And I will be talking about news in our music community on Giggin' with Jan.
So if you're ready for number 9, number 9, number 9, here comes the Rusty and Jan Show. When the world comes crashing down on us, they're always there, and they're always happy company because they care. Oh, yes, they care. And when you need to take out pain, well, no one else will do. Dial the phone or go on Zoom. Thank God there are friends like you. I said, thank God there are friends like you. Wasn't it great to see the sun again last week?
Yes, and it made me feel excited thinking about all the wonderful events that we'll be able to share the summer with our vaccinated friends.
Vaccinated. I love the sound of that word. Oh my gosh. Well, anyhow, episode 9's theme this week is about following the path to your dreams.
Oh, that sounds dreamy.
Yes, I experienced that with one of my frequent naps.
Yeah. Okay. So what's our first song?
Well, here's a song about the trials and tribulations about pursuing a dream. This is Billy's song. Billy woke up late one afternoon, feeling wrong, and in his heart he thought he heard a tune. He heard a song, he grabbed a piece of paper and he then began to write. With agony and joy he stayed up all the night. When the morning came he saw such a sight. There was a song he wrote about the things he kept inside. All in a song, the feelings that most other people hide. In his song, a song about love, a song about hate, a song about equality for all the human race, a song that could shake the world and put man in his place. All in a song, he played it in the streets around the town. He played his song, soon the local people came around for a song. They said that he should share his song for all the world to hear. Take it to the record man, he had nothing to fear. They're sure to record it and bring the world to tears. All with his song. Record man did not have much to say about his song, 'cause Billy caught him on a busy day with his song. Well, there's a million unsung songs in the closets of the land, and a million silent singers like a beach's lonely sand, who pray for just one more chance to try it all again. Oh, with their song. feeling wrong. And in his heart, he thought he heard a tune. He heard a song. He thought of when he wrote it some 40 years ago. And he found it in the closet, but it made him feel so low. And he brushed away a tear, so no one would ever know. Oh, damn that song. And now it's time for Giggin' with Jan.
Hello, and welcome back to Giggin' with Jan. We're excited about our upcoming guests over the next couple of weeks. On April the 5th, we'll be talking to our Flute 66 bandmate, Lance Fingles. April 12th, we'll feature Michael London. And then on April 19th, our guest will be Eric Sollenberger.
Well, what else is going on, Jan?
Well, venues are reopening as more and more people are becoming vaccinated. As previously mentioned, Melalani Cafe is booking outdoor performers. Please contact me if you're interested in scheduling something. And some VFWs in Philly are reopening for outdoor performances. Flute 66 will be performing at the North Penn VFW.
Flute 66, I know those guys.
Yeah. That's going to be on June 11th, and we're very excited to be playing together after a year of not being able to get together.
Yeah, now what's the status of festivals? Everybody wants to know.
Well, these are the festivals that I've heard about so far. And if any of you know of any others, please let us know in comments, and we'll add them to the list.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we have PFS Spring Thing that will take place virtually on Memorial Day weekend, which is May 28th through the 31st. Tickets are on sale now at pfs.org.
We'll be there.
Yep, we will. And then the Philadelphia Folk Festival will take place online on August the 19th through the 2nd, rather. For more information on that, also visit pfs.org.
We'll be there.
Yep, we will. And then X-Fest will take place on September 17th and 18th, and I believe it will be held in person at the Country Creek Winery. Well, that's a tongue twister, isn't it, Rusty?
Yes, it certainly is.
But we're still waiting on final confirmation for that, so stay tuned. For more information, of course, visit xfsmusic.org.
Yes, now we're going to be at that one too, right?
We are.
Well, they say that it's not your grandfather's festival, but if I'm not mistaken, most of the guys who started X-Fest are grandfathers now.
Yes.
Okay, well, never mind. We won't go there.
And getting back to our festivals, it looks like PFS Fall Fling will also take place in person in Green Lane, Pennsylvania. The attendance is going to be limited, though, to adhere to the Montgomery County Board of Health's protocols. And that's going to be on October 1st through October 3rd. So make sure you visit pfs.org for your tickets. And now, let's see what's cooking at Melalani. It's time for
George's Corner. Extra, extra, this just in. We just spoke to Peg down at the Cosmic Cafe. So it looks like we're going to be down there in the spring and the summer, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So you want to give them a call and get in on some of this too, because it's a great venue, and she's a great lady.
everybody, and welcome to George's Corner on this windy day in March. We're going to start having a lot of outdoor music starting in April, so check out our Facebook page and check on Saturdays and Sundays between 1 and 4 or 2 and 5 on Saturdays and Sundays. We're going to have live music in an outdoor garden, socially distanced and safe. So come check it out. We just had Parish Swing Tones on Saturday with Beth Mead. It was great. We had a nice turnout. We're not trying to promote it super hard because we're just trying to keep it nice and tight, like a little crowd, keep it COVID safe until it's 100% open. But check our Facebook page to see who's on the calendar next. And then we also have our virtual mic every Thursday from 7 to 10, and that's growing and going strong. Actually, our guest this week, Keith Shaw, is someone that we met through our virtual open mic, and he's going to be performing at the cafe next month. So check out the calendar, and I look forward to seeing Keith's interview today. So yeah, stay tuned. Bye.
And now it's time for Rusty's Senior Moment. So, Rusty, I know that you've been pursuing this musical path for 50 years. What have you learned that you can share with our audience?
Well, as I recall, way back then, many of the folk singers of my youth began because it was the means of meeting women.
Women. Imagine
Women,
that.
yes. Well, that was kind of the way it was in high school. I've seen those guys' popularity peak and die just as quickly. What was left were the poets and the musically chosen. Chosen by what? I'm not sure, but it was a feeling that was overwhelmingly compelling and sucked me in. The poets also had a message. For me, it was about Vietnam and equal rights and some other socially conscious issues of the day. As the early songwriters, we were instructed by Pete Seeger and Woody Guthrie and began to develop our values our voices could express in terms that only Bob Dylan could express. There's no question that the anger and frustration of teenage baby boomers affected the rebellious nature of some of our songs. You could say for some of us, we continue with that fight even today. Starting out back then was not really much different from what it's like to start out today. There were very few venues that were not alcohol-driven for young singer-songwriters to display his or her passions. I was fortunate to have the Perimeter Cafe.
Was that with Terry Ravel?
He was there. What the heck? Well, he's pretty old, so it's like me. So one of the frustrations you may find starting out is that not everyone sees the passion the way you do. You frequently ask yourself, why don't I get hired? I know I'm good. I've been playing this guitar for a week. This leads me to the number one rule of pursuing the path of entertainment. You can't expect the venue to assume all the risk on an unproven product. While I don't agree that musicians should be forced to play for free, you really don't have a choice but to do that until your value has been established. We know you think you're good. We all think we're good, and you might be. But it makes no difference if you can't sell it. If you find you're a struggling venue that can't afford to pay you, but you might feel has potential, negotiate with the owner. Ask for a meal instead of a payment, with the potential to renegotiate if your investment pays off. Use things like tip jars. If you find that you're unwilling to invest in If you find that they are unwilling to invest in you on the smallest level, you can expect that they will not pay you what they owe you when the project pays off. When presented with this scenario, move on. Don't waste your time investing in someone who won't invest in you. This is about finding people who are willing to share the risk with you, not take advantage of you. Jane and I remember when we played a venue for a certain price, and at the end of the night, we were stiffed by $100, less than we'd agreed upon. And despite the fact that we organized it and advertised it and brought out a lot of personal friends, and they all had big steak dinners, we had no choice. We had no recourse but to accept what was done and to walk away because we had entered into a relationship with someone who we didn't know, nor had we established a level of trust. We perhaps could have pursued a contractual arrangement prior to the gig, but I doubt this guy would have agreed to such a legal document. We currently have great contractual arrangements with facilities and other people in the area that we do trust and we've worked with for many years. And we know that they're not out to take advantage, such as the wonderful sainted George at the Mililani Cafe. He's always been a wonderful and gracious partner. We started off playing for food as we were all struggling with a new project, and look at what it's grown into. We all assumed that the risk, and we all reaped the benefits, not to mention that the whole Mount Airy community has grown because of the influence of the Mililani Cafe. Other things to know. Be a good salesman. It's your job. Put the same effort you put into your job into selling your ideas. Understand that the value of gentle persuasion is important, but be careful. Don't be a nuisance. It takes practice to understand the gentle touch. Everyone says it's about being at the right place at the right time. Absolutely right, which means your job is to be everywhere all the time. Go out, play, make sure everyone gets to hear you. And then the third thing is help other like-minded artists. Well, the goal for me was to be a poet. I have since learned that the value of strong, loving community is what I really needed. I have more riches than Brittany will ever know. In closing, the most important thing to pursue in your path is to enjoy the ride. We had an insightful experience in interviewing Keith Shaw, another one on the path, someone I'm sure that you're going to run across in the local and virtual musical community. This is how it went. Hi, everybody. We're so excited. We got a special guest this week, somebody who's been very, very supportive of the Mililani open micers. Of course, he's been very, very supportive of a half a dozen other open micers in the area. And he's doing pretty well, and he writes some nice songs. So we're real fortunate to have Keith Shaw joining us tonight.
So, how are you today?
Doing great. Lovely day, and it's getting warmer day by day, which means short pants are a-coming.
Absolutely. So, to begin our questions, when did you first get the bug for music?
I've had probably not the typical musical journey. I didn't start actively playing a guitar. Actually, I didn't actively. I'd never played a guitar before. I was deep into my mid-30s. Like I was kind of rounding out the back end of my 30s. And I remember going to a music store up in Princeton, up where I was living at the time. I went to the store and I picked out a guitar. And the guy says, "Would you like to plug that in?" And because I didn't know anything, I just said, "No, I'll just take it with me." So then I started to try to figure out some things and got some books and stuff like that, because I was kind of reserved about playing with people or whatever with lessons. So I just tried to do my very best. But it must have worked out, because then when I turned 40, I actually played with a band and played with those guys for about 9 years. And then because
Who was
of
that?
Who's the band?
It was a band in Pennsylvania. It was called the Famous Strangers.
Oh, nice. Uh-huh.
And we played. We had like a pretty regular set of places we used to go to, bars, restaurants, outdoor type things, and that's what made it probably last for 9 years, because we had at least 2 or 3 times a month, and that was back in the days when people would actually give you something called money for playing.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and then if they liked you and it was a restaurant, they'd say, "Hey, before you pack up, would you like a hamburger or whatever?"
Yeah.
So
The best.
but because of egos in the band, because we had the same bass player, rhythm guitar player, lead guitar player, keyboard player the whole time. We went through drummers like in that movie Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And finally, we got a drummer that the egos started to kind of work their way in. And plus, I was tired of getting home at 4 o'clock in the morning, particularly on a Friday after working all day. And then you go play, and then you get home at 4 in the morning. So I just stopped cold. And I didn't pick up the guitar again. So here I am. I was 48, 49 years old, just stopped cold. So after getting going at 40, stopped cold
Wow.
for about 9 years. Matter of fact, I would look around at the stuff that I had at the time and say, geez, what should I do with it? Should I sell on eBay? Should I donate? Whatever, because I'm not doing anything with it. And then
Right.
had a conversation with somebody, and then I got interested in playing again. So that was in 2014. So for the past 7 years, I've been pretty regular in playing and practicing. And when I don't do some level of practicing, and I start to get the same crappy habits of bad habits.
That's all of us.
Yeah.
So now I'm working on a couple of different things, some of which just because I haven't done them in a long while.
Well, tell me something though. I mean, obviously, you're a very intuitive, personal type writer with some of the music you've written. Why? Well, what are you trying to tell us, and why are you trying to tell us?
The way I approach songwriting is, it's like, I know people that will just, this is what, and I know you guys have made the point about the pandemic and all of these virtual things. I would have been as diligent about participating in something every week, whether it's Mililani, or as I did at the beginning of the year, started with the PFS PASA, or all the Jerry Ryan things, or some other things that I've done virtually, which when we have the group things, like PFS PASA, and then our Thursday night thing, or Lance's thing, when Lance gets that going now and then, for Nitrous radio thing, exposes me to more people. So then I start to get excited about different things, and I can see what things people are working on. And there's some people who are the songwriters, particularly PFS PASA, getting back to songwriting, who say, I just write, 500 songs or whatever, which is, I'm going, holy
Blows my
cow.
mind.
I'm going, I'm like, I'm not worthy, And so I'm a little more slower, although last fall I kind of got on a little bit of a tear with writing about eight songs. But my inspiration can come from current events. It can come from just something that starts in my head, like some rhyming thing or some buzzword that's in my head. And sometimes it's just from something silly. Because sometimes the lyrics kind of come first, but sometimes the melody and chords kind of come first. And sometimes I'll just start singing something ridiculous. Like I started singing about meat one day, like meat, like
Like
steaks.
that you eat. Okay.
I like meat.
Right. But I was
Yeah, I
like,
hear
made
that
up
one.
this stupid song of meat. It's so good to eat meat. It's a nutritious treat, meat.
Well, you
And
heard
I'm-
about Paul McCartney, right? Yesterday used to be called scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
So,
So-
and that,
so I
look
like
what
that
happened to that song.
Yeah, I like that melody. And I would go around the house and make up more meat lyrics to it. My wife is like, oh my God, like for your age, you're like a 8-year-old, It's like
Yeah.
jokes
Welcome to the
about
club.
bodily functions and whatever.
Oh,
right?
yes.
So that song, actually, the melody for it, that kind of went da 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 da, actually became a song that was on my album Haunted, which is I Saw Her Face. So meat, it's so good to eat meat, it's a nutritious treat, became I saw her face as she walked down the street, I saw her face, she was looking at me. So sometimes they come from weirdo places.
So were you looking at this woman like she was a piece of meat?
No, it was supposed to be my wife.
Be nice.
Oh, okay.
Because whenever I write some sort of romantic size songs, I try to always do it that way. It's not like
Good
some,
practice, whether you mean it or not. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah. So I don't, so I don't,
Well,
so I
look,
don't wind up with a smaller piece of pork chop.
yeah, it's got to watch out for
Right.
that meat.
Yeah.
So,
So that's-
speaking of your album Haunted, seems like you've gotten some attention for it lately. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you got some airplay and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, Haunted was the first album I ever recorded at the tender age of 63 and a half. But like I said, my musical journey is not the, 8-year-old that gets a guitar and then,
Right.
plays and plays. Mine is, it's like, geez, I'll get there eventually. So I recorded that I started it about this time last year. And then it took me through September to get the songs and the mixing and mastering in spite of all the computer blow-ups and stuff that I had. Because up to that point, all I did since October, November of 2017 was just release single songs like There's a Tie That Binds Us or Until the Rain Comes, or the first song, which was Cherry Red in 2017. Back in 2017, I also got involved more with Twitter. And Twitter is like a gold mine of independent and streaming radio stations. I'm not talking about Spotify or Apple Tunes. I'm talking about these people who have taken the time and effort to dedicate themselves to running a radio station.
Wow. Good to know.
And over that time, now, some of them are still around since the very first time I contacted them, and some of them, come and go, just like anything else. It's just like in Philadelphia, we used to have, radio stations that are either long gone or turned into sports talk or,
Right.
whatever. So these things kind of change and morph, either because, I guess, of people's interests or whatever. But they're all open to hearing your music. And that's what's great about it, is you can contact any of these stations. And I think in your next question, we'll get a little bit more into that. But that's how I get airplay. It's kind of like marketing. To me, I have an MBA in marketing and finance, right? So to me, it's just putting on my marketing hat and then just saying, okay. So I keep a list of all the places that I've sent music to over the past 3 years. And then when I have something new, then I get back in touch with them like I'm doing this week. So I have my song out inside. And so that's really it. It's not rocket science.
Well,
It's just-
you do kind of make a point, and I make this point all the time, especially when young people ask me, well, how, what do you do? How do you get heard and all this? Is it, the number one rule is if you're serious about this business, you treat it with the same passion as you do your 8-hour-a-day job. If you want it to be your job, you got to put the effort in, and that's a lot of people. They treat it more like a hobby, and then they wonder why it's a hobby. Make it
Yeah,
a job.
or I'll get people who contact me through, like I said, not through Facebook so much,
Yeah.
even though some of these stations who I built the relationships do have Facebook pages and stuff, but they really do, and I don't know the percentages, but I'm going to just say, 93.8% of their effort on typing on a keyboard is on the Twitter side. And what's nice about it is they tag you, so when your music gets played, because you follow them on Twitter, then you can see when your music's get played.
That's
So
great.
now and then I'll take it, I'll say, XYZ radio played whatever of my song, and I'll take that and I'll put it on Facebook. But I don't want to be doing that like every day, because stations somewhere in the world are playing something of mine somewhere. And that's all I can really ask as a musician, is that somebody was nice enough to listen to my music, nice enough to put it on their station, and nice enough to let me know when they play.
So why don't you play a song for us off of your new album?
All right, this song was released on Friday, March 26th. It's a song called Inside. I wrote this because I had a conversation with somebody about the voices in your head, not like crazy voices, but like you always talk to yourself. You try to encourage yourself, or you get down on yourself, or you get up on yourself, whatever. And I said, oh, it's kind of like the devil and the little angel, and they're like saying, you know, like the devil's saying, do this bad stuff, you know, eat that big piece of chocolate cake, and the angel's saying, no, you got to go out and do some exercise. And then somewhere in the middle, you say, okay, I'll have a little piece of cake, and I'll still go out and run tomorrow, or I'll still go and do something else. So that's kind of what Inside is about. It's about all the crazy things that go on in my head. So here we go with Inside. There's a voice inside my head, he speaks to me in riddles. Think I heard him once before, I think he sounds familiar. There is a voice inside my head, he's acting so peculiar. Always thought him to be strange, but he always says he's normal. Who are we really inside? All the things we try to hide. Some are secret, some are hidden. Some are good, some forbidden. Naked truth mixed with lies. Some things we don't realize. Deep inside one's history, unraveling the mystery. Oh, 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 oh. Who are we really inside? All the things we try to hide. Some are secret, some less hidden. Some are good and some forbidden. Naked truth mixed with lies. Some things we don't realize. Deep inside one's history, unraveling the mystery.
Yeah.
Great song. I like that
Cool.
concept.
I forgot to mention this, and whenever I play this lately, well, it depends on who I'm playing in front of, but it would make more sense to you guys. I actually got the inspiration to record this because of our Thursday night Elilani Cafe
Oh.
Wow.
get-togethers when we were doing it as Facebook things.
Huh?
Right.
That was back in Facebook Live, and then people would, you know, they comment, you know, you have this
Right.
big long commentary thing. And what I would do is when I got done playing, I would listen to it to make sure the recording was good, and then I would look at the comments. And I believe it was Rusty. I mean, don't hold me to it,
Wow.
because I think I made the comment that someday I should record this song. And then because we were recording it on Facebook Live, Rusty said, you just did in the comments. And I said, okay. And then,
That sounds like something Rusty would say.
yeah, but like I said, you know, inspiration that you get from different people when you do these virtual things on a very frequent basis, to me, is part of the big thing. Because quite frankly, I would not be leaving the house every single week or 2 nights in a row,
Oh,
or
absolutely.
Yeah.
5, actually, when I think of last week, this week, 5 nights in a row out of 10 days. I don't have that bandwidth and that energy of doing it. So these shows for me were like a shot in the arm. Plus, I force myself to do it because it may not seem it because I'm kind of blabbing away. Man, I get stage fright. So this is part of my quest to, and it's funny because for years working in corporate America, I used to talk at sales meetings, like, the big presentation screen, PowerPoint, this thing, and I wouldn't have like a butterfly when I just get up, boom, 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 do my presentation. Boy, this stuff, ugh,
Oh yeah.
it's just like, I'm like a little kid.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's been life saving. I mean, we've heard other people say that. We're so
And I
fortunate.
hope, and I know both Jan and Rusty, I know both of you have been pretty sure that these things will be kind of like the new normal for music
We're going day by
presentation.
day, dude.
Yeah, I really, I've said it before. I don't think the virtual things are going
Oh, no.
anywhere.
I
Even
hope not.
even after we are able to play again in venues, I don't think they're going anywhere. I like them.
Yeah. When you think
Oh,
of
I
the
love them.
potential with playing with people around the world, it's just why. I mean, look at last week. We actually had a guest who was on the other side of the globe, and it was part of our show. I mean, the potential is just amazing.
Yeah, I just, and actually in the show where you had Jerry Ryan as a host, or not a host, I'm sorry.
I guess.
You guys are the hosts. Jeez, you're the hostesses with the mostesses. But when Jerry said that he loved the fact doing it virtually for a number of reasons, but the thing that stuck in my head the most, and as I'm listening to him speak, and I kind of did this, yeah, when he said, I make a lot more money doing them virtually than we do them at whatever venue.
Yeah.
So I said, that is great that we're actually making a bigger difference with the things that he does.
Well, how far do you expect to take this thing? When can we expect your Grammy?
My what?
Your Grammy.
Oh, Grammy.
We want to be able to say we knew Keith win.
Yeah.
And roll the
Yeah,
tape.
I'm not sure that's going to happen. The Grammy process is a process. I've known people that have gone through it. And you have to get people to nominate you. Usually somebody who has some in with the Grammy
Right.
organization. Doesn't mean that it's like a bad thing. But yeah, it's a little more work than I'm looking at doing
So
now.
what's the goal? You want to do stadiums?
No.
No. So
I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Like I
Okay,
said,
it looks that way.
it does.
doing the relationship building that I did with the radio stations, and that, it's like simple stuff. You build a relationship. You make sure you get to the right stations because you don't want to be like what I just played. Now, when that song Inside on Haunted has 12-string guitars, it has drums, it has bass, it has keyboards, it's like I'm the one-man band, right?
Yeah.
I am the one-man band. But you don't want to send a song like that to a song that plays nothing but metal or hard rock, right? So you have to kind of pick your spots, when you're sending this stuff out. And I'm just happy to do that. You send out your stuff. If they like it, they'll play it. You got to make sure that it's radio ready, so it's got to be meta tag, and you got to have artwork that's in the meta tag and stuff, and it's got to be set up correctly for broadcast media. Because in that whole process, I learned stuff from some of the radio stations. A guy was so nice to get back to me. He says, "We love this song. Can you do this in the production of it? Not change your song, not remix it, not remaster it, but the way you make it radio ready." He gave me all of these tips. He said, "You got it?" He said, "That's great." He says, "Because now I can put that on iHeartRadio because now you meet their broadcast standards too." I went, "This is great."
So how do
Just
we
great.
find these standards?
Yeah, and when you deal with these people, you just got to be polite. So if they say, I don't like your song, or if you never hear from them, you know, and I know radio stations from, like I said, these relationships who will occasionally say in their Twitter feed that, you know, some people are just jerks because I didn't play their song, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, type thing. And who knows why it didn't get played.
Don't need
But
that, right.
got to be polite with these guys. If you're polite and you kind of have some, even when you see them on Twitter and they're not currently playing your stuff for a couple of days, you see something silly they posted, then you respond. You know, it's just that kind of stuff.
So
And-
success depends on the color of your nose.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's not that kind of thing.
I know.
So-
I know.
It's not
So
that
the
kind
Grammys and the stadiums aside, is there a dream venue that you want to play?
I know. I mean, I had fun, and I never thought I would do it. But once I got involved with the PFS PASA Rob Lincoln thing, and then the Cabin Fever came up, and they had that little side thing for the front porch thing, and be able to do that 2 nights in a row. I thought that was cool, and then I said, "Oh, geez, wouldn't it be great to be there in person in whatever the heck the town is where they do this?" And I can't remember.
Wanksville.
Yep.
Yeah, Schwenksville, that's it. And go to, you know, play at, you know, PFS, like you get a 30-minute open porch stage or whatever slot in front of the whoever's willing to listen to you. I think that would be pretty cool.
I tell you what, as an act that's actually been on that stage, there's nothing more validating. I mean, that's like saying, I guess I made it.
Right.
Really.
And then one other place I'd like to, again, avoiding that whole place with the alcohol, places with the alcohol or whatever it is. I've played it in Haverford. I've played at the Kelly Music Center several times. I would like to do the music festival. So in September, and I know you guys have played at it. I'm pretty sure you guys did. September, they're hoping to be able to do something outdoors. So hopefully they'll take my application and say, okay, yeah, we remember you. You're a nice guy. You're polite. Like I said, I don't have many rules, but the one rule I have is I won't pay to play. Because
Yeah.
Right.
you occasionally, and I think everybody who plays music and has some sort of social media presence gets an email, a message, or whatever says, "Oh, we've got this kind of music thing. Send us, you know, $50, and you can play at whatever." And you do get these radio stations that'll say that too. "Oh yeah, we'll put you on all of these college radio." Matter of fact, I just got, "We'll put you on all these college radio stations for $59.95," and I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scam,
there's, you
probably.
know, so it's a hard and fast rule of my expectations too.
So why don't you play us another song? Take us out.
All right, let's give this a shot. I've never performed this song in public before.
Oh, okay.
Okay? It's called Firefly Serenade. The sun fades from the sky with colors of pink and gold. Light scatters aimlessly as the night unfolds. The grass dances in the breeze, wind whispers softly. The twilight brings the evening star, it flickers so gently. And then the magic starts to happen. Like a curtain, darkness falls. The glowing wonder, creatures come to call. Firefly Serenade. Float in swirling patterns, moving to and fro, silently communicating. I would like to know what on earth they're saying, or are they singing songs to me? But now I watch the light show, such a sight to see. When the magic starts to happen when the curtain of darkness falls. The glowing creatures of wonder come to call. Firefly serenade. The full moon begins to rise, fades brown with its light, climbs up in the sky to such amazing height. The fireflies know now the show must end. Wait until tomorrow and they return again, and then the magic repeats when the curtain of darkness falls. The little glowing creatures come to call. Firefly serenade.
Wow. Very nice. So you
Wrote
said
that
you
about-
just wrote that one?
I wrote that about a week ago.
So brand spanking new, huh?
Yep, it's kind of its debut. So those little fireflies and butterflies were kind of dancing in my stomach there. Yeah, that's in actually going back to why I love these virtual things, and when we have the interactive things, like now we have this is Zoom and we have the PFS PASA stuff, and Facebook Live you get some interaction, but it's after the fact, right?
Right.
But having the interaction and feeding in a good way off other people, because go back to the thing about venues, and I mentioned a couple of things that would be cool. My goal as a musician is just to get better. Like
Absolutely.
I realized a couple of songs that I wrote that are fingerpick songs. I'm just doing the same thing in the songs, like the finger picking pattern. I said, oh man, I gotta go back and start practicing different patterns. I'm falling into that comfy rut of playing the same solo or playing the same thing.
And it's a
So-
never-ending process.
Right.
You'd never reach that, pinnacle of, wow, I've finally arrived. That it never happens.
I do.
Yeah. So, doing actually from your show a couple of weeks ago that had Rob on it.
Yeah.
And Rob played some song. I don't even remember the title of it, but he said, this is the Nick Drake tune.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Can't remember it
I
either.
mean, my exposure to Nick Drake was a 1999 Volkswagen commercial that had Pink Moon in it. Pink,
Remember it.
pink, pink, pink moon, right? And I said, oh, that guy, I forgot about him, right? So I, after you guys logged off that night or signed off, I went and I said, okay, here it is, CGCFCE. So then I started playing with it, right? And I said, this sounds cool. It's like kind of dreamy, kind of droney, kind of, type of thing. And I said, oh, shoot, how do you make chords in this thing? Because you can't play your regular chords. So I just started messing around with it. And believe it or not, those chords that I played just started falling out of it. And then I said, okay, so then I made the melody. So here's another thing back to songwriting. I made that melody of that song. And I said, geez, I need words. What do I call this thing? Like, I can't call it like some sort of like heavy metal song, like, Living After Midnight or whatever, like by Judas Priest or whatever. I have to come up with something that's kind of fit with it. And I looked up more about Nick Drake, and it said because of where he grew up was in the rural part of England, so he wrote a lot about trees and woods and whatever. I said,
Nature.
maybe I follow that path of inspiration, and actually bought a couple of his albums. Actually, one I'm still waiting for, the one that Pink Moon's on, because apparently now that he's dead 47 years, it's hard to get his stuff, but I got, I can't even pronounce it, but it was the last album he put out, just to kind of get more of his flavor. And then I started to think about words. So at first, this song was something about nature. And then I said, this kind of sounds like something like you'd sing to a little kid, right? Like to a group of kids. And I said, fireflies. And then I started putting stuff together. So at first it was called Firefly Sunset. It didn't really fit. And then I said Firefly. And then all of a sudden, like in the middle of the morning, brushing my teeth, Serenade came out. And then that's where, like, are they communicating? Are they singing to me? So then it tied back to the Serenade. So, I mean, song's got some work to do. There were some other things that I had put in it that I kind of skipped for now, since it wasn't the first time that I'd ever played it live. I haven't even played it for my wife yet. She has no idea what I'm doing up
We're
here.
honored that we're your first people that you played it for.
Oh, I figured I'd give you a shot and see what happened. And
And
if it,
hopefully she'll hear it before she sees this broadcast.
yeah, maybe not. She's pretty busy. She's been working at home for the past year now. So,
Thanks so much for coming by and supporting Melilani and all the other projects. And future looks good, doesn't it?
yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you out there then.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Well, wasn't that a great interview with Keith Shaw?
That man's truly driven, and I think we're going to be seeing good things from him in the future.
Next week's guest is our Flute 66 bandmate, Lance Fingles.
Oh, yes. Did you hear Flute 66 is emerging from the pandemic now like a phoenix? Now that all the members have been vaccinated, we hope that you'll come out to see us and our troop of friends and our upcoming gigs. That's Flute 66.
That's right. So, as you recall earlier, we stressed the importance of enjoying your own path.
Which brings us to one of our newest segments, covering up for our friends. Here's a song by Terry Ravel called Shooting for the Moon. I look up at the stars in the sky. Think about my life with a tear in my eye. Feel good about just who I am. Ain't no use complaining, nobody gives a damn. I work all week, some job I hate. So tired in the morning, 'cause I stayed up late. But I don't care, even if I got fired. I'd set out on the road and I'd just be inspired. So don't give up, just keep on trying. Oh, then don't get upset, you'll get there yet. And I got you to help see me through. Yes, I do. Just keep shooting for the moon. I remember Jerry Jeff's songs like My Old Man. I wish I could play like that, and people said, you can. So I took some faith in me to see what I could do. Just kept on playing, and now I'm shooting for the moon. So don't give up, keep on trying, then don't get upset, you'll get there yet. And I got you to help see me through. Yes, I do. I'll keep on shooting for for the moon. I got myself, got some damn good friends. And I got these songs on which my life may depend. Oh, got my grandson, we hang out sometimes. And you, baby, our love is so grand and fine. So when all life's troubles seem to weigh you down, all your hopes and dreams won't get you off the ground, take a look inside and you know who you are. You know you got it in you, you could be a star like Terry LaBelle. So don't give up, keep on trying, don't get upset, you'll get there yet. You got me to help see you through, yes I do. Keep on shooting, keep on shooting, keep on shooting.